Howdy everyone, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever asked yourself what's up with all the raccoons and Beyond the Map's Edge and why Justin seems to really love raccoons and also uses GIFs in various discords as raccoons? I thought we'd talk about it, so let's get into it. The first bit of thing to note is a couple random facts that I've found on the interwebs through the Googles and the AIs in regards to Native Americans and how they view raccoons. So I'm going to try not to read everything because I know it's a little bit of a bit to discuss and read through, but I'll probably say that and read it all anyway. But regardless, here we go. In many Native American cultures, raccoons are viewed as powerful, clever, and often mischievous. A lot of times they're also viewed as tricksters or bandits. They got the face, bandit, mask-like markings on their face. In regards to Aztec Native Americans, the term that they use for female raccoons with cubs translates to little old one who knows things. This is the title that they conferred upon the wise women in their society, demonstrating the elevated status of mother raccoons in Aztec culture. So it's kind of cool. We hear about, or not hear about, we see about the bride stands guard to ancient gates, and here we have raccoons being related both to wisdom and guarding things, elevated status. For the Pacific Northwest, all those folks who are big on the Pacific Northwest as a possible location or region for the Beyond the Map's Edge treasure, raccoon idolization seems to have occurred near the Columbia River. A Native American carving of a giant face is believed to be the land's guardian spirit, meaning she who watches. Although the Yakima tribe now refers to this figure as the witch woman or watcher, but it clearly resembles a raccoon. So again, we have raccoons watching, guarding, being prominent rock features and possibly landmarks. Those are a lot of different things that I found with Native Americans in regards to raccoons. If you know of any or can find any others or want to do some research and share it, feel free to do so in the comments. At this point, if you like what you see and interested in other content I've got, feel free to like the video and also subscribe if that's something you're wanting to do. Let's move on along. Now we get into raccoons shown in Beyond the Map's Edge, and this is particularly in regards to the Bandit Banquet story. As you can see on the bottom, I did indeed obtain permission from Justin Posey to use these illustrations. So in regards to that, in my opinion, this one is unique and interesting. I'll kind of use my mouse to highlight a couple of things that I think and see. Obviously, from other live sessions, I believe Capron Calazars, they were talking about the pizza pants or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pants. In addition to that, we have a few numbers on the cookies down here. But the thing that I believe is the most interesting, I think, and I can see a number 3 on each and every raccoon. I don't specifically remember off the top of my head where they are, but if you look closely at the raccoons, in my opinion, you'll see number 3 on every single one of them. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just overlooking or seeing things. I don't think so, but if you think though, that's fine. Feel free to share that. But further than that, if you split the image in half along the cabinet shelves, just the middle of the image in general below the light, you got 1, 2, 3 raccoons on the left. You have 1, 2, 3 raccoons on the right. You have 3 raccoons stacked together. Again, we see a motherly type raccoon, or just a raccoon in general, standing guard, watching over the other raccoons. And then last but not least, the story here, the Bandit Banquet, discusses Justin's dad and his brother Brandon. So we see 3 people being discussed in the chapter as the primary focal points of the chapter in regards to characters, if you will. If you see or notice anything in addition to what I've notated here, feel free to talk about that. And I know in I believe the X Marks the Pod interview, Justin did say that he didn't give the illustrator like direct clues or anything anything to give her so much of like a leg up per se, and I lost the words there, sorry. So I don't think he necessarily downplayed whether or not there was clues in the illustrations. They just weren't like major ones to give that illustrator a leg up. But I still think that there's potential that they could have some meaning. He could just simply say, hey, put 6 raccoons in a kitchen scene with me watching the raccoons. And from there, let your creative sense and artistic flair take over and do with the illustration as you want to do. But I mean, if to put pizza pins and things in there, who knows? But that's just my interpretation of this particular illustration. Go to the next one. We have the Midnight Menace with his mom. The raccoon in this illustration is in the bottom right, just outside of the beams of light. We have the flashlight beam. We have all the multiple various beams from the train engine. This is a chapter where his mom gets the train shot at, and the raccoon here is guarding over not only the mom and the train, but also there's a coyote back here on the left. We see several cactuses, and I'm not really certain what this particular thing is right here. I don't know if that's a mine entrance. I mean, it looks rectangular. It looks perfectly edged or cut, so I'm not quite sure what that might be. Then obviously we have the recurring theme of trains and train tracks here as well. And again, it's shown with his mom. So compare that with the last scene from the Bandit Banquet. We have Justin, Brandon, mom, and dad all being protected over and watched over by raccoons, which in my opinion are the primary main characters in the Beyond the Map Such book, or at least early on in the stories. The next one here is the Concrete Kiss. If you're not familiar with this story or chapter, Justin's riding his bike downhill, gets a little too fast, loses control of his bike, and more or less face plants in the worst way possible. You can get the specific details of how that happened and the injury in the story, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to be discussing, again, the raccoons. We can see, yet again, this raccoon is in the shadows or somewhere in the shadows below the tree. The raccoon is watching over Justin. Obviously, he's with all three, but he's watching over Justin specifically, in my opinion, here. But again, we have Justin, Brandon, and his dad shown in the illustration, so that's three, another emphasis on three, perhaps. But the main thing I wanted to point out here is perhaps wisdom waits in shadowed sight is something like the raccoons or something to do with the raccoons, or if you're believing that it's not raccoons, it's something else, maybe you say, okay, wisdom waits in shadowed sight could be the raccoons, but I think the raccoons mean this or that, and kind of take that as you will and see if that makes sense to you, and if you can find something in addition to that. Look, there's the three. I'm just saying. There's another three. I don't know. Some general facts about raccoons as it pertains to the American West. They have a definite need for water proximity. In the American West, raccoon density drops to nearly zero when they are more than 500 meters from a permanent water source, such as a river, lake, irrigation canal, creek, stream, whatever you want to say there, any kind of water. The farther away they get, the less likely you are to see any raccoons at all. By landmass alone, the western half of Texas holds a massive natural population. Of course, the argument there, well, Texas is huge. Sure, of course it is. But the western half in particular has a larger population density of raccoons. And of course, in the Beyond the Map's Edge map, the western tip, if you will, of Texas is shown on the map. The habitat facts for Texas is that it contains more bottomland hardwood forest, the primary natural habitat for raccoons, than any other state in the West or the Southwest. Lastly, again, for those Pacific Northwest folks in Washington and Oregon, raccoons show a 3-to-1 preference for deciduous or mixed forest over dense monoculture coniferous forest common in the high Cascades of the Pacific Northwest. Say that quickly as many times as you can. Side note, this is one of the cutest raccoons I've ever seen. That thing is adorable. You can be my pet. Not really. They deserve to be in the wild, but you know what I'm saying. So cute. Anyway. One more thing to note. Rascal was mentioned in Beyond the Map's Edge. That is a book by Sterling North. Indeed, obviously called Rascal, but also ended up being a Disney live action play. Disney had a part in it as well. But it only mentions that book for Rascal, and he describes it as a human-raccoon friendship, the sort of thing that I was prone to take as an instruction manual. But the thing that I thought was worthy of being notated here is going back to the Bandit Banquet story. It's Brandon that we see being a whisperer of raccoons, knowing the raccoon language and be able to speak to them. He names all the raccoons, so it's a big emphasis on Brandon and raccoons. But then Justin says here, it was a the sort of thing that I was prone to take as an instruction manual. So that's an interesting conflict to me, if you will. Something to note. I don't know if there's anything to it or not, but it's just what I thought was interesting. Justin, excuse me. Justin also compares himself to Jane Goodall in regards to Raccoon. She was a subject matter expert, if you will, and sorry, for apes and monkeys and primates. So for him to say that again, compare himself to Jane Goodall, I would think it would be Brandon, but he says himself. Another compelling quote. A lot of people have called out the map doesn't necessarily have state borders or states called out. And Justin says, as if raccoons checked maps at state borders. So that's a line that can go along with that. And then we saw in the Garden of the Gods video I made a few videos back how he notates a rock of grander status and or a boulder pointing to what? That's the $1 million question, I believe is the paraphrase line. But he also refers to raccoons having visions of grandeur. So that is, again, I mean, it's just, there's so much emphasis on raccoons, and it's just one thing after another, just over and over again. That is the end of the video. We're going to kind of go back a little bit and just kind of piece by piece a little bit here to show the various slides. Again, if there's anything that you can call out or notate for any of these, feel free to share with me. If you've got any logic or reason for raccoons, or think you might know why Justin uses raccoons so much, please feel free to share in the comments. Perhaps it's a checkpoint, perhaps it's some kind of something you'll see along the way, or maybe something named after a raccoon or a bandit or a mask-like marking or something like that. Again, if you have anything for the illustrations that I didn't call out or you think would be valuable to add to the community, feel free to do so. There's other illustrations and pictures. He's got the sweatshirt or sweater with the raccoon on it. So that's another emphasis on raccoons. As I stated, he's often used the GIF for a raccoon. I'm like just drinking beer or drinking something. So it's just hard to ignore raccoons when it comes to Justin Posey on the Beyond the Map Sets treasure hunt. But what do they mean? I think it's something that we as a community should try to figure out. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some clarity on that at Seeker Summit. Speaking of Seeker Summit, I will be there. As I mentioned in other videos, I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, and especially those who have reached out and expressed interest in meeting me. I think even someone on Facebook said, hey, you're kind of shy. We're introverts. I was like, I got you. Come find me. I'll chat with you. We'll hang out Friday night and or Saturday at the summit. I believe last time I checked, we were at around 855 or so tickets purchased. So we're trying to reach those various milestones. I'm not like behind the scenes for Seeker Summit, just kind of helping promote it. I think most channels are. So again, if you like this video, want to see the comment, I've got a lot of shorts out there. I might be putting out shorts from this video. I've also got a lot of other videos out there. Feel free to go thumbs up and subscribe. Watch all the various videos. Let me know what you think. I'm always looking for feedback, whether or not it's good or bad, or not going to hurt my feelings, no matter how hard you try. And if you try too hard, I'll just hide your comments. So don't be rude. But you know what I mean. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know the various things you want to see and give me some pointers, if you will, whatever. I'm open to ideas and ways to improve and ways that we can better achieve what we're looking to do within the community. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good week. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of y'all at the Seeker Summit. And I hope you have a good weekend too. Thank you.